So hi everyone, this is Mehul Mehta and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm doing this session in collaboration with VIT University. So basically, a lot of my juniors reached out to me from VIT and they are present in this session, as you can see. So what I'll do is today's session is all about masters in quantitative finance. I'll talk about masters if you want to pursue a masters in quantitative finance or masters in financial engineering from United States, United Kingdom or Germany. This is the core topics that we'll talk about. Okay, what is the admission requirement, how much education fee you have to pay, how much salary you can expect, what are the visa issues. There are a lot of challenges that you face when you go out to all these different abroad different countries and abroad, right? So I'll talk about everything and I've prepared a good slide for everyone so that if in case you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. So let me start sharing my screen. Just give me a heads up if you all can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. So, let me share a quickly about my background. So, what I did was I was in VIT. I did my electronics engineering from there, and then after that, graduated in 2018. Joined PwC as an intern, and as soon as joined, I guess it was a 6 month intern, and in my fifth month, I my manager came in and told, we really like you and we want to extend pre-placement offer to you. And I was so happy, right? I mean, of course, because initially when I started, it was more like a credit risk role. And then I transitioned into, when I got the PPO, I was still in credit risk, but slowly and, steadily, I started getting all this market risk related roles. So, after I worked 3 years at PwC, there was this time in everyone's life, you think about the higher stuff. So that's why I realized masters is important if I want to grow into the field of quantitative finance. And of course, when I spoke to and this was back in 2019, 2020, there was nothing about quantitative finance, almost like I'm saying 5 years back, nothing about that. Even, when you see on YouTube, you just see Columbia and bunch of other university. And of course, getting into all those tier one universities is so challenging, but of course, applied to a lot of different universities, successfully got into five. So, but I chose NCSU because their track record was amazing. Last 5 years, I mean, they were like 100% student place. And of course, going as a into a different country, you really bother about, okay, how much you have to pay and how much will I get after I do my education. So did this 18 months of masters, came joined Regions Bank, and right now I work as a manager at a brokerage house. So that's a really brief introduction about myself. Okay, so what is quant finance? Okay, before this, can you all see me? Because for some reason I can see that I'm only sharing the slide, but can you all see me?
Yeah, you are visible. Yeah.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you. So now the question is, what is quantitative finance? A lot of people say, okay, this is quant finance, this is quant finance. Of course, I've been in the field for 6+ years, so I can say that it's nothing but a mixture of five different disciplines: finance, economics, mathematics, statistics, and programming. And everything is equally important. So a lot of engineers, like we do not know a lot about finance and a lot about economics and how these two get mixed with the mathematical modeling side of things, right? So but eventually, believe me, if you are an engineer, you can transition into quant finance. If you are someone who has done if you come from a commerce background, you can still transition into quantitative finance, be it any background. Believe me, when you are going outside, this is only in India that people want you to be from top IITs. When you come outside India, when you go to any abroad country, this is not what they want. What they really are looking at is, okay, this is your profile, these are the projects you did, these are the subjects you studied, how confident are you in the interview? This is what really matters. So believe me, it is this concept myth that only engineers from top IITs can transition into quant finance. But believe me, anyone can transition. So now the question is, what are the core areas of quantitative finance, right? I mean, of course, if you talk about the prerequisite, prerequisites are nothing but probability, calculus, linear algebra, numerical methods. These are actually, the most important. You can say these are the baseline of quantitative finance. So if you are an engineer, right, you might have studied all this thing already, so you are really good to pursue this field. And when I started into this field, a very common doubt that I had in mind is, oh, but I do not know finance, right? I mean, entering into quantitative finance, I mean, but I do not know finance, how will I make a career into it? But believe me, learning finance is easy, but learning mathematics is not easy. So believe me, all of us, if you are from an engineering background, believe me, you can still transition very easily. So now you look at all the core subjects, what you will be taught is, credit risk, market risk, fixed income, derivatives, risk management, portfolio management, stochastic calculus, time series, machine learning, neural networks, all these things, right? So these are the core subjects. If you look at any master's degree, these are the subjects that you will be taught, and this will actually make you a good quant. So I'll not talk a lot about subjects today, because of course, there's whole hour I can talk about. But today's today's thing is, let's talk about masters in different countries, because this is where every one of you are interested, right? So let's talk about masters in UK. Sorry, masters in US. So I did my masters in US. I have helped numerous number of people transition into masters in US. What I'll do is I'll create a Google form, attach it in this YouTube section, or I'll attach in the YouTube section. So if you want my help, you just fill in those and I'll reach out to you. But now let's stick to masters in US. Okay, so if you look at the overall length of the program, generally masters in quantitative finance in US is 18 months of degree. Now people have this doubt that, okay, somewhere it's written masters in quantitative finance, somewhere it's masters in mathematical finance, somewhere I see masters in computational finance. What is the real difference? Believe me, it's just one or two subjects here or there. It's otherwise almost 8 to 9 subjects are just the same. So do not beat your mind on that. Okay, oh, I'll go into masters in computational finance because I'm great with computer science. Believe me, it's all the same. It's just that what I would suggest is go where the alumni network is strong and go where the placement records are strong. Okay, so now, of course, these are 18 months of masters is what you will see in the complete US. Now, some people do extend this 18 months into 2 years of masters. So that's why you will see that a lot of people do their masters for 2 years, but generally these all programs are 18 months, extendable up to 2 years. But why people do not extend for one extra semester is, it cost almost $20,000 to push your degree from 18 months to 20 to 24 months. That's why a lot of people you see will complete their degree in 18 months. Now, tuition cost. This is where, I feel, I mean, things in US is pretty, I mean, the tuition cost is pretty high. It's $50,000 to $100,000. If you look at any Tier 1 university, be it Columbia, Cornell, UC Berkeley, Boston, MIT, you look at any Tier 1 university, the cost is, I'm just talking about the education cost. The education cost is $100,000, and that is close to what, 85 lakh rupees. I mean, that's a lot of money, right? Any middle class person cannot afford that high of a education fee. So believe me or not, I mean, I personally would have not gone to those universities until unless I would have gotten scholarship. So, but this doesn't mean you should not apply. See, you should apply with whatever profile you have. Sometimes all these university do give scholarship. So I have known some people who have gotten like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 of scholarship. So definitely apply to these programs. But if you want to go into these programs, make sure you talk to a lot of alumni so that you are confirmed that, okay, I'm spending $100,000 in a good way. Okay, so this is just the education cost. As I told, living cost is very different. Now, what about ROI? See, a lot of these programs have really high ROI, which is, I would say, median salary, I would say, is somewhere between $100,000 to $130,000 and even higher. I know some university, they say that, oh, our average is $200,000. Believe me, they are saying absolute wrong. Okay, universities in US, sometimes they only talk about the top percentile. Okay, it's something like this, from, if we all are from VIT, right, our average package is somewhere around 5-6 lakhs. But if someone says our average package is 40 lakhs, dude, come on, I mean, it's not 40 lakhs, right? It's only top people getting 40 lakhs, right? It's otherwise the average is 5-6 lakhs. Same happens in USA. They are quoting that, okay, the average is $200,000, but it is not. So don't see all these fancy numbers and jump into all these universities. Please talk to their alumni, ask what is the real thing, how much salary are people getting. I know so many people who went to this tier 1 university. I'll not name that university, but it's a really good university, and people are not getting placed from that. And this university has charged $100,000. That's why talking to alumni is important. Now, the question is, okay, you paid, let's say, whatever money, you'll get a job, but then how many years you can stay in the US? This is one question that everyone asks me, right? So see, what happens is, when you're coming as a student in the US, right, you come on a student visa. So you can work in the US on student visa for 3 years. Yeah, that's right. You can work in the US for 3 years. But then the question is, what will happen after 3 years, right? This is one of the biggest question, that, okay, I'll work for 3 years, but then what will happen after 3 years? What will happen is, see, every year your company will file H1B, which is called, if I don't know if you have heard about this lottery. US, this term lottery is very famous, right? So that every year, the company will file H1B for you. Okay, so they can file maximum of 3 times, because you can work for 3 years, so they'll file every year, so which is 3 times they'll file. If in case your H1B does not get selected, this H1B this H1B visa, which is, which how does it get selected? Using a lottery. It's actually a lottery. You just pick and see, okay, this is the number, okay, he's approved. Pick and see, okay, this is the number, he's approved. Okay, this is not done manually, because there are thousands and lakhs of application, but it's more like a simulation done in computer. Okay, so this is what it actually happens. Okay, so believe me, uh, you have no control over will you get the H1B visa or you won't. Let's say you did not get the H1B visa. What's next? Then the next thing is, you have to get out of the country. There are two routes. Either after you finish your third year, your H1B did not get picked, you need to get out of the country. Or what you can do is, you can again pursue a master's or a PhD. So you again join some university and pursue a degree, right? So these are the two alternatives what you can do. Now, talking about fall 26, which is, okay, now, okay, what is fall and what is spring? There are two terms. Generally, there are two terms in which all the students apply in the US or any country. The first is called spring. Spring is nothing but January intake. Okay, so when the classes starts in January, it is called spring. But when the classes starts in August, it is called fall. So let's talk about fall, because most of the students, they apply in fall, which is August of 2026. They want to join the university. So actually, all this process start actually, before, almost like it's a 1 year difference. So you need to apply this year to go next year. If you apply next year, you'll go next to next year. So it's almost a 1 year thing. Okay. Now, what are the application timelines? So for fall 26, which is August of 2026, you need to start applying for this year. So the admissions will start from October, and eventually it will go somewhere in March, April. And I've seen some universities going, have their admissions open till May. But then, if you, I mean, but mostly I have seen people applying in November, December, January, February. That's it. These are the 4 months that are really crucial. Now the question is, if you look at the screen, you see priority deadline, final deadline. What is this priority? See, if you apply in priority deadline, which is if you apply between October to December, every university has a different priority deadline. Okay, please understand. Every university has a different priority deadline. So if you apply in October to December, you have a strong chance of getting a scholarship. Now, let's say if I have a bad profile and still I apply in priority deadline, will I get a scholarship? The answer is no, because you do not have a good profile. Applying early does not mean you'll eventually get a scholarship. No, that is wrong. What will get you a scholarship is having a good profile. That is what you will get. That is what will help you get a scholarship. Eventually, I have also seen people that they have a bad profile. They have applied early and they have gotten a reject. So it's better to wait, improve your profile, and then apply. Okay. I hope this answers, I hope this clarifies a lot about what is priority deadline and final deadline. Now, as I said, this is nothing but visa in the US. So on student visa, you can work for 3 years, right? On the student visa, so this OPT is a term used commonly. So this is a 1 year visa, 1 year thing, and then again you can extend it. So so in total, you can work on student visa for these 3 years, right? And in these 3 years, your employer, whichever company you have been employed, they will file H1B for you. Now, there's one more thing, one more catch. Not all companies applies for H1B. This is one thing which all of you should understand. Okay, you might think, oh, I have joined a company, now they will file H1B. No, that is not the case. H1B visa, there's a lot of cost added to this visa, right? You need to pay to lawyers, you need to do documentation, you need to give the visa fee, blah blah blah. It's a long process. So eventually the company has to pay a lot if they want to sponsor your H1B, and not every company sponsors. So you need to check if this company is sponsoring. And so what you do is, generally what I've seen is, people apply, all the students apply to multiple roles. They get a job, then they ask, are you will you sponsor H1B? If they say no, they'll not join in most of the cases, but in some cases they join because for them the money is important, so they join. And but eventually what I want to say is, 3 years you can work on student visa. If you do not get H1B, you are out. If you get H1B, let's talk about you. If you get H1B, then you can stay in US for 6 more years. So that is, student visa 3 years. If you get, let's say on the third year, you get your H1B, 6 more years you can stay. Let's say if you get your H1B in second year, so 2 years you have worked. Then from that point, from that second year till next 6 year, you can stay in the US. So it's almost like, H1B visa is amazing. You can stay here for 6 years. In those 6 years, what you will do, you'll ask your employer to again file for green card, because you can stay in the US for 6 years only. In those 6 years, if your company does not file your green card, you need to come back. You'll have to, after that 6 year, you need to come back into, you need to get out of the country. So that's where, a lot of employer, they'll file green card for you. I know it's visa system in the US is little tricky, but this is the overall. You can work. So just to summarize, you can work in the US as a student for 3 years. After that, you require H1B. So every company will file H1B every year. And if you get an H1B, you can stay in the US for 6 more years. In those 6 years, you need to ask your company to file for a green card. All right. Now the question is, what are the admissions requirement, right? See, of course, whatever degree you have pursued in mathematics, computer science, engineering, finance, whatever you have pursued, it is good. Okay, most of these universities, they require a 4 year degree. Okay, so if you have done a 3 year degree, what I would recommend is do a diploma, right? Do a 1 year diploma, so that 3 year plus 1 year will become a 4 year degree. Okay, but if you come from an engineering background, you already have a 4 year degree. Now that is good. GRE is important. Okay, GMAT is not important. GRE is important. If you're applying for masters in quantitative finance, GRE is what all the university will look at. Okay, not GMAT. GRE, please make sure. TOEFL is important, or IELTS is important. Give anything, TOEFL or IELTS, give anything. It's equally the same. Whatever degree you have pursued, you need to give the degree certificate, transcripts. You should have a good resume. This is where I see a lot of Indian students doing a mistake. I was reviewing this resume, and it looked like more like a wedding card, all colorish resume. This is not how things work in US. Okay, if you are applying in USA for your masters, make sure you have a US resume format. Your resume should be in US resume format. How will I get that format? If you do not have, just let me know. I'll send you those US resume format. Okay, I can send you the link of how the resume format in the US will look like. Letter of recommendation. People say it's very important. I feel it's okay even if you are taking from head of your department or any professor. It's equally the same. People talk about, oh, if you take from head, it's a big thing and stuff like that. Eventually, what really matters, what have you done in those 4 years, or what have you done in your corporate life? That's it. So your resume and your statement of purpose is eventually what matters the most. Okay. um and yeah, as I said, statement of purpose, letter of recommendation. Now the question is, what is statement of purpose, right? Statement of purpose is nothing but you need to write almost like a 1 page or 2 page document in which you need to write what is your background. Why are you interested in pursuing a master's in quantitative finance? Why are you interested in pursuing a master's from United States? What are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What academic projects have you done in quantitative finance? Do you have any internship or full-time experience in quantitative finance? You need to connect all the dots and write in your SOP. Okay, so this is very important, that having a good resume, having a good SOP is very important. Now the question is, what are some tier 1, tier 2 universities? So tier 1, if you look at the screen, these are some tier 1 university. Baruch is very, it's the best for financial engineering or quantitative finance in the USA. Princeton, UC Berkeley, Columbia, NYU Stern, Corent, there are bunch of program. Believe me, there are bunch of program which offers this master's degree. From where I did was, North Carolina State University. So my master's name is financial mathematics. Eventually, if you look at the name financial mathematics, quantitative finance, computational finance, it's all the same. Financial engineering, it's all the same. Do not get confused. It's just that people, they refer by different names, but eventually it's all the same. All right. So this was all about US. Now let's talk about UK, and then let's talk about Germany, and then I'll stop there. I'll stop, and then whatever doubts you have, please feel free to ask your doubts. Okay. Now let's talk about UK. Um, So if you look at US has a 18 months of masters. Okay, US has 18 months of masters, but if you look at UK, it's just 1 year of masters. UK has just 1 year of masters. Okay, so you see all the top universities, right? Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Imperial. There are a lot of universities which offer master's program in quantitative finance or masters in mathematical finance. Okay, there are some tier 2 universities like Warwick, Edinburgh, King's College, Bristol, Glasgow. Bunch of universities which offer this program. Now the thing is, if you look at the education fee, that is somewhere close to $48,000 to $62,000. Now this is a lot of money just for 1 year of program, and this is where I have an issue. Okay, this is where I have an issue. So now if you are spending $62,000, I would rather ask you to come to the US. Why? Because uh, you will get ample of college in $62,000 plus. uh, the job market in the US is pretty big. I'll show you a screenshot. Okay, tell me in the chat section, do you want a screenshot of one of my student, not a student I would say, but one of my friend who studied this master's program in UK, and what's her thought? Do you want that screenshot? Please say yes or no in the chat section. I'll wait for all of you. Okay, yes, I see a couple of yeses. Okay. Now in few slides, I'll show you exactly what the this person is telling me about UK. But eventually, what I would say is, it's good that, okay, if you want to just pursue a master's of 1 year, if you are okay, here is the thing. If you are a student, I would not recommend UK because it's tough to get a job in UK if you are a student. If you are a working professional with, let's say, 3 to 5 years of work experience, that too in either market risk, credit risk, or quantitative finance, you can still go to UK because now you have a good years of corporate experience. You getting a job won't be that hard. But someone who's just graduated, who's still a student, for all of you, it will be very tough to get a job. Okay, let's say you get a job. What will be the average salary? So if you think 40,000 to 80,000 UK dollars would be your average salary that you will get, it's still fine because you eventually, it's something like this, so you will recover all of your money in almost 1.5 years. Now the question is, okay, you now the question is, of course, it's very important. Okay, you understand that, let's say you decided you want to go to UK. Okay, you have decided that, okay, even though whatever the issue is, still let me go to the UK. Now what are the visa things? See, the good part is, if you do not get a job into, let's say you graduated in 2025, till 2027, if you do not get a job, it is still fine. You can work for any job, any job. Okay, there's no restriction on which job you can work for, but in US there is a restriction. In US you can only work for 1 year in whatsoever job, but then after that you need to work for a role which is related to your degree. Okay, but this is not the same with UK. In UK, you can work, you can look out for work for 2 years. Okay, so what can you do in those 2 years? You can work for any role, any internship, any contract. You can work for anything. Believe me, you can work for anything. So, but let's say, what if you do not find a job? Like, okay, so I'll upload these slides, Rana. I see your question. I'll upload this slide so that all of you can access this. Okay. Do not worry. Yeah. So let's say what happens if you do not get a job in UK in those 2 years. Let's say, as I said, in once you graduated, let's say you graduated this year, 2025, you can look out for jobs till 2027. But if you do not get a job in those 2 years, you have to get out of the country. You have to get out of the country, which means you can't stay there. But let's say you got an employer. Let's say you got an employer and you have gotten a job, right? Then what's next? Then what you can do is you can stay in the UK. It's just that that company wherever you have gotten the job, they need to file for a skilled worker visa, which is valid for 5 years, so you can stay in the UK for 5 years. Now the question is it easy to get a job in UK? The answer is it is not. It is not. Oh, students are from ISC. Oh, my bad, Aryan. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. I see the students are from IASER. Oh, my bad. I actually got confused with other thing I had to take. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Anyway, you all are smart, intelligent folks, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Okay, so let's come back to the topic. My bad. So okay, how many years you can stay in the UK with no job? You can stay for 2 years, but the issue is it's very hard to get a job in UK. Okay. Now, okay, let's say you have prepared your mind and you have decided you have to go to the UK. These are the admission requirements what you have to fulfill. Okay. So eventually, that when you look at it, eventually what I mean, if it's just one exam that you have to give, which is IELTS or TOEFL. IELTS or TOEFL. There's no GRE. There's no requirement for GRE. So that is the best thing. There's no requirement for GRE. Okay. So you just need to give one examination. You need to make sure you have all the SOPs, LORs, resume, transcript. That's it. The admission process for UK is very easy, but getting a job is very hard. And the admission process for US is hard because you need to give GRE, but eventually getting a job, if you compare US and UK, getting a job in US is much easier. All right. So these are some, as I said, these are some tier one, tier two universities that you can look into the UK. These are some good universities, and definitely, they have a very strong alumni. So a lot of times I've seen that people who are from tier one university getting placed because all their alumni have been working into all good firms. Okay, so as I said, the UK job market is very small as compared to US. Most of the jobs that you will see will be in London. London is very expensive. So of course, it's hard to survive. I mean, US is expensive too. So I'm not saying that, but but in US you are getting good. I mean, almost like good amount of money. UK, I'm not a great fan because of course there are so many friends I have gone to London, gone to UK, paid heavily, did not get a job for 2 years, came back and working in India. So this is all about, if you ask a comparison between jobs in US and UK, US has a bigger quant finance market, really big, really big. Okay. Now, okay, this is the conversation. Okay. Now I want anyone of you who can read this conversation. Anyone who want to volunteer?
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, Mehul. How have you been? Yeah, I'm looking for jobs. To be honest, I have been giving interviews but got rejected in final rounds in firms like Russell Investments, Keyrock, IAG, Volcor, and so on. I have given some other interviews from where I am waiting to hear back. The market in the UK is okay-ish. The quant firms are posting a lot of opportunities with reference to both risk and trading roles, but a lot of my batchmates or others have moved back to India as sponsorship has been a tough part as a whole. But your course has been extremely helpful for me in all of the interviews, so I might start applying in India as well post August if I don't land a role in the UK given the cost of living out here. Yeah.
Okay. Now did you all understand why I was saying? And this girl, believe me, is a very one of the, I would say, really strong headed. I mean, she is intelligent. She has years of experience. I feel she is not a fresher. She has like 2 years of working experience, and this is what she has said. And this is everyone's story. So that's why I say I'm not a big fan of UK. I have seen, and this, and if you look at the UK economy, just look at the economy, just look at the statistics. It's so bad. It's doing so bad. So eventually, for UK, it's a big no-no. For US, it's a big yes, yes. Okay, now there is this question. Hey Mehul, I come from a middle class family. I cannot afford money. I cannot afford even $25,000. What should I do? Go to Germany. They offer a free master's degree. Believe me, they offer a free master's. You just have to pay the living cost. They offer a free master's degree. Okay. And the good part is Germany, they have a 2 year master's degree. Okay. So in those 2 years, if you are a fresher, if you come from a middle class family and do not want to spend your parents' money on this, go to Germany. The only thing is you need to learn German language. You need to learn what German language, because there when they talk, when they speak, they have to, you need to know German for conversation, for communication. So believe me, if you come from a middle class family and do not want to spend a lot of money, learn German, apply to Germany. That's it. They offer a free master's degree. Okay, so I have said they offer a free master's degree, but what about the living cost? Living cost ranges between this, what I have said, okay, between this 10,000 to 12,000 pounds, I believe, pounds or euros, something like that. But when I translated this, it is 1 lakh rupees per month. 1 lakh of rupees per month. So it's a 2 year degree. So the living cost that you will have to bear is 24 lakhs. Living cost you will have to bear for 2 years is 24 lakh rupees. But tell me one, but eventually, there are a lot of part-time opportunities, so almost like 50% to 60% of the money you can get from part-time also. Okay, you can get from part-time. Okay, so do not worry that, oh, this is a 24 lakh rupees. How will I get money? You can look out for part-time opportunities. But the focus should not be only part-time. The focus should be studies. This is one thing that I've seen a lot of students doing. They deviate from their path. They deviate from their path. That, they go to Germany. They see, okay, oh, these are some good, I'm getting a good pay. They leave their education and they start focusing on part time, and this is where you'll make a mistake. This is where you'll make a mistake. But it's fine. I mean, this is my, as a big brother, this is what I feel I should guide you, right? So the living cost, as I said, it's if I talk about the Indian rupees, it's 1 lakh rupees per month. I have verified it with a lot of people, so you can trust me on this. It's 1 lakh. The packet, the market is decent. Of course, it's the market is competitive, but I've seen people getting jobs. It is not as bad as UK, I would say, because in the issue with UK is eventually, first is you are paying a lot. First is you are paying almost like 60 50,000 dollars of money, right? And then eventually you're not even getting a job. So I feel better come to Germany, right? It's a free master's degree there, and it's a good reputed master's. If you look at TU Munich, TU stands for Technical University. If you look at TU Munich, Technical University, this is the technical universities in Germany has the same standards of IITs in India. Just imagine IIT is giving a free masters, which will never happen, but I'm just saying, just imagine, right? And same, these are great universities. Believe me, if you have no money, let's say you say that I do not want to invest my parents' money, go to Germany. Great option. All right, the average salary is decent. I would say same as UK, I believe, or not same, but yeah, almost close to. Yeah, almost close. But of course, UK will pay you a better salaries. But eventually, getting a job in UK, as we all know, is tough. But this is what your average salary will look like. Let's talk about the visa part, right? This is where it is important for us, all of us, to understand how the visa will look like in Germany. See, once you graduate, you get 18 months of 18 months of job search. You can stay in the Germany for 18 months, okay? And you can work for, in those 18 months, you can work for any role. You can work for any role. But let's say if you do not have a job in these, let's say in these 18 months, you did not get a job, that's where you have to leave the Germany. Or what you can do, or you switch to another student visa, you pursue another, you have to pursue another degree in Germany, okay? But let's say you have gotten a job. Let's assume you have gotten a job. What's next? So once you get a relevant job to your degree, let's say, and of course, they have this minimum salary requirement, that you should meet a minimum salary. You can apply for EU blue card, or it is also called the German work visa. Now the question is, what is this German work visa? It has a validity of 4 years. If you get a job, you can work there for 4 years, and after that, you can apply for permanent residency. I loved it. When I was looking at Germany, it gives you so much. The job market is good. They're not charging any masters. The living cost is not that expensive also, I feel, okay, because you will get a, because people generally do not prefer Germany, okay, they do not prefer Germany as they prefer Canada. Look at Canada. There are no jobs. There are no, believe me, they're literally, it's all Indians buried there. There are no jobs there. Go to such countries. Germany is absolutely amazing. The first is, let's say you don't even get a, let's say you don't get a job. What will you gain? Dude, you have gained 2 years of master's degree from a top university. You can come back to India. You have gained your skill set. Come back to India, get a job, or go to any part of. And see, Germany. You can also apply to any other European countries. You can apply to jobs in Netherlands, Ireland, whatever it is. You can apply to you can apply jobs in all the European countries. This is what is important. All right. So that's all. Now will be happy to take all of your doubts. But that was all. This is my LinkedIn profile. If you have not seen me, please, I would love to get connected with you. And yeah, that was all from my side. I'll please feel free to ask anything whatsoever you have. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Yes, or please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello, Mehul here. So I've done your course on Python for Quant Finance, and it was really good. I joined in back in March. So I have more interest towards quant development side.
Okay.
So are there any courses available for masters in quant development?
So if you're looking specifically for quant developer side of things, aim for computational finance courses, because computational finance courses are more towards the quant development side of things. Yeah.
And where should, like, which country, like US or like Germany?
That you have to research, right? First, you need to select which country you want to go based on what is
Oh,
your financial budget. Let's say if you want to go to US, right? Georgia Tech is one of the most affordable. I guess their education fee is 65,000. Why I say affordable is because if you look at other university, they are charging 100,000. So 50,000, 65,000 is still fine, right? So they charge 65, and in the very first semester they have four programming languages. So I would say look at for all those coursework which says computational finance, and you should be good.
yeah, I've seen you that video on like Georgia Tech. You had like four of your friends talking with them, and like they're
Yeah,
explaining their about the book section.
right, right.
So okay, okay. So like, and how's like, do I need any job experience for like applying for those roles, for
Um,
those master's degrees?
def what if you, as I said, what is important is which country you are aiming for. Let's say if you're aiming for US, Georgia Tech, if you look at the alumni, it's bunch of IITians and BITS Pilani folks. Even I've seen people from tier 2, tier 3 universities, but then they have really good GRE score, and they have really strong profile. So when I say strong profile, internship at a good organization, or if not internship, at least some good projects you have done. That's what I would recommend. Yeah.
And one more question. So is it better to do masters or like I should do some software engineering role and then switch to quant development?
Masters. I mean, Depends on your interest, yeah. I mean, nothing is. It's actually a very personal take. I would say you can work for a few years and then you can go for masters, or you can directly go for masters. But working for a few years is better because you get a better clarity of what you want to do in life. So yeah,
Mhm. Okay, Ved, thank you.
sure, sort of.
Hello.
Maybe so.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Nakshatra this side.
Hi, Nakshatra.
I don't have any questions. Thank you so much for the talk. And I just want to mention that you're so humble that I mentioned that, Bhaiya, we want to do a talk. And suddenly I receive a call from you. That's a very kind and lovely gesture. Thank you so much for the talk there.
Sure, sure. No, no problem. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I had a question. Like currently in the US, like there's some issues, right? Like they are like kind of getting against immigrants and coming into the whole country and everything. So like the geopolitical situation is kind of dicey. So would it be preferred to have like attend a university in Germany or UK, considering they are a bit more open and everything?
UK, I don't recommend, as I showed you in the chat, right?
Yeah,
You,
yeah, I understand. I understand that.
I would
UK, you wouldn't recommend. Yeah, I understand.
I would still prefer Germany. If you see, it's something like this, yeah. You know, people are getting jobs. It's not like people are not getting a job. People are getting jobs. It's more about the risk-taking appetite. So let's say if you have a decent background, right? If you have a decent financial background, right? And you think that, okay, half money I can take from parents, or I can put myself, and then half of the money we can take a loan. That's a good idea. Go for all this, come to the US, because people are getting job. I help a lot of people. They all get jobs. Okay, so it's not like only few won't get job. That I agree. Some of them are not getting jobs, but most of the folks, I would say 90%, as what I have seen, is they get job. Only 10%, 20% they do not get job, and that is because their technical expertise within the domain is not at par. Okay, but then, okay, let's say that you do not come from let's say you do not have that financial budget. Go to Germany, right? I mean, they're offering a free masters. They are good universities. Work life balance is good. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, when I got to know about Germany, I just fell in love with the country. They are actually asking people to come to their country. Only thing that you have to do is learn German. 6 months you learn German. I mean, yeah, that's my take. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's risk versus returns. Like we are just calculating the sharp of our own education journey and everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Any other doubts anyone has? Okay, so I see one doubt. We have to learn German to communicate, or the lessons. Okay, so most of the degree that you look at, those are taught in English. Okay, but I've also seen that in some universities, one coursework is taught in complete German. Okay, so issue is not with German, because what I do not really know is, do we even need to write the examination in German? That is the tougher part, right? I mean, we can still communicate in German, but writing the complete exam in German would be extremely challenging, is what I think. But eventually, what I have researched is most of the universities there, they offer their coursework in English. But see, it's more like this, when you are going to a new country, you need to gel up with their people, with their natives. And if you want to gel up with their natives, should need to learn German. That's it. But the coursework is mostly in English. I would say 95% of the coursework is in English. It's just that when you are going in any interview, if you speak fluent German, I mean, the other person will also get impressed, right? So it's something like that. Yeah. Any other doubt anyone has? Okay. So if there are no more doubts, thank you so much all. Thank you all for attending the session. Okay, yeah, I see one more doubt. Yeah. So are there any prerequisites for doing masters in Germany? So as such, there are no prerequisites, but eventually, see, if you are coming from an engineering background, I do not know what's your background, but eventually, if you look at all the master's degree, they'll say, okay, you should know linear algebra, you should know calculus, differential equation, probability statistics. So these are something which they would ask you to have. So I see I'm someone who's interested in entrepreneurship, and I'm also interested in learning financial engineering. Any synergy? Mm, Tough to answer. Not really, because see, I have seen a lot of people. I was recently talking to this person. He said that, oh, I'm opening a hedge fund, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then this guy does not know about derivatives in general. So that's. So I would say, if you really want to do a side business, or if you want to go into entrepreneurship, just first learn the field and then go into entrepreneurship. See, on any business you can do when you can benefit someone in any way out, right? If you want to benefit, let's say you can build quantitative models and sell it to hedge funds. Whatever you do, you can build a development team in which you automate trading strategies for different client. So but you need to have understanding, of the of the base knowledge of the field, right? So I would say stay there in the field for 3 4 years. Eventually, if you have that entrepreneurship skill set, that will follow very easily. Yeah. I have often heard that in quant roles, there's no such thing like work-life balance, means like working hours are quite high. Yeah, that's right. But not everywhere. See, it depends which area are you working. Are you working in a banking role? Are you working in a hedge fund? See, in a hedge fund, the teams are pretty small. So you have a lot of work to perform. But if you look at any banking in general, banks hire a lot of quants, so there the work life balance is still better. But if you are going for a hedge fund, you cannot expect, because they are paying you also, right? I mean, the pay is almost twice what you look at when you look at a bank, and when you look at a hedge fund, the pay is almost twice. So yeah. So if you are someone who is aiming for work life balance, go into the banking side of things. Okay. Okay, to whom should I approach? You can message me. What I'll do is I'll upload basically a Google Doc. You can fill in your details, and I'll message you. Yeah. If you're not at that level to intern for hedge fund, then what role should we look out for that is approachable and transferable? I would say go in any role. Uh, Believe me, what is important is you have that corporate experience. Be it software engineering, data science, machine learning, quantitative finance, be it anything. Have that corporate experience on your resume. That will really help you get your next job, to be honest. Okay. Yeah. So Suri, yeah, I'll upload one more form. Just fill that in the. I'll upload this video on my YouTube in the description of my YouTube channel. There will be this form. You just fill it, and I'll reach out to you. No problem. Okay. So just okay. Working for operational finance or fintech. Fintech would be better. Operational finance would not help. See, eventually, okay, one more thing I would say is, if you're going in any job, let's say you do not get a quant job, because I know in India it is very tough to get a quant job. What you do is you go in any job, in that 1 year, learn a lot about the core subjects of quantitative finance. What are the core subjects? Derivatives, risk management, fixed income, stochastic calculus. See, nowadays, if you look at Python, data science, machine learning, most of the folks know those subjects. So what eventually you have to do more is extra is learn finance related stuff, derivatives, risk management, learn portfolio optimization. There are a bunch of optimization models. Okay, so learn those things. So do not worry, whatever job you join, just have that curiosity to learn, and that will really help you. Okay. So any last question before I wrap up this session? All right. So thank you all for joining in. Thank you so much for giving your time over the weekend, and not on the weekend. Sorry, it's Friday right there. Okay, on Friday. But yeah, thank you all for joining in. If you really want to pursue a master's, you can reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help you. And thank you all for joining in again. All the best.